ARMY shocked. Taehyung shows an unbelievable dance during Arirang practice. BTS members are left speechless. Hello ARMY all around the world. Before you continue with your day, wait a moment. Don't scroll yet. Because there's a story from a BTS practice room that, in just a short time, has made many people on the internet completely pause in disbelief. This isn't a comeback announcement. It's not a new music video either. It's just a simple rehearsal session while BTS was preparing for a special Arirang performance. But in the middle of that practice, something completely unexpected happened. A dance move that was never part of the choreography. A movement that appeared out of nowhere, spontaneous. Yet so powerful that the BTS members themselves suddenly stopped moving. All eyes instantly turned to one person. Kim Taehyung. And after that moment ended, the practice room, which had been filled with music just seconds earlier, suddenly became silent. As if everyone in that room was thinking the same thing. What did we just witness? The big preparation for Arirang. Over the past few weeks, rumors about BTS preparing a special performance of Arirang had begun spreading among fans. Arirang is not just a song in Korea. It is a traditional folk song that has been passed down for generations. A song that symbolizes emotions, longing, resilience, and the journey of life. Because of that, when BTS decided to perform Arirang in their own way, many people knew their preparation would be serious. The members didn't just want the performance to look beautiful. They wanted it to carry meaning. The atmosphere inside the practice room. Inside a large practice room with mirrored walls, the BTS members had been rehearsing since early morning. The music kept playing on repeat. The dance coach was giving directions. Each member tried to perfect every small detail of the choreography. J-Hope focused on refining precise movements. Jimin worked on matching his emotions to the gentle melody of Arirang. RM occasionally discussed the performance concept with the staff. Jungkook experimented with different steps full of energy. Suga quietly observed the rhythm and timing. And in the middle of all that, Taehyung stood slightly away from the center of the room. He looked like he was listening to the music very carefully. As if he wasn't just hearing the song, but feeling it deeply. When the music shifted, as the Arirang music entered a softer instrumental part, the practice session was supposed to pause. Usually this is the moment when the members grab water, take a breath, or discuss the next sequence. But this time something different happened. Taehyung was still standing in the center of the room. He didn't step aside like everyone else. He simply looked at his reflection in the mirror. Then slowly, he raised his hand. A movement that was never planned. At first, no one paid much attention. Maybe the members thought Taehyung was just trying to review a move. But within seconds, the movement changed. His steps became slower. His hands flowed with the music. And his expression turned deeply emotional. It didn't look like a rehearsal anymore. It looked more like a piece of art being created in real time. Every motion felt meaningful. As if Taehyung was telling the story of Arirang through his body. The room falls silent. One by one, people inside the practice room started to notice. Conversations stopped. Footsteps stopped. Even the dance coach, who usually keeps giving instructions, stood still and simply watched. All eyes were on Taehyung. And for several seconds, no one said a word. J-Hope's reaction. As the dance leader of BTS, J-Hope is usually the first person to comment on movements. But this time, he simply watched with a slowly growing smile. When Taehyung finished the final movement, J-Hope shook his head slightly and laughed. As if to say, "How did you come up with that just now?" Jimin's reaction. Jimin, known as one of the most expressive dancers in BTS, also looked genuinely surprised. He paused mid-step and stared at Taehyung for a moment. Then he said with admiration, "Hyung, that felt like a story." And perhaps that was the best way to describe what had just happened. Not just a dance, but a story told through movement. Jungkook breaks the silence. Jungkook was the first to break the quiet atmosphere. After Taehyung finished, Jungkook immediately clapped while laughing. Then he joked, "Why didn't you do that from the beginning of practice?" The room burst into laughter. But everyone knew Jungkook was truly impressed. Suga's simple comment. Suga, who usually stays quiet during rehearsals, also made a comment. And it instantly made everyone laugh. He said, "That wasn't even in the choreography, but it looked like the best part." Why this moment felt so special? Many people think great dancers simply follow choreography perfectly. But in performing arts, there is something often considered even more valuable: honest expression. And that's exactly what Taehyung showed. He wasn't trying to be perfect. He was simply following the emotion he felt while listening to Arirang. And that's why his movements felt so real. ARMY reacts. It didn't take long before stories about this practice moment started spreading among fans. Some staff members shared what they witnessed, and ARMY quickly reacted online. Many fans wrote comments like, "Taehyung always has a unique way of interpreting music. This is why V is such a special performer. He doesn't just dance, he lives inside the song." Taehyung's unique style. For a long time ARMY, this isn't surprising. Taehyung has always been known for his artistic and expressive performance style. He often adds small personal details. Sometimes it's a facial expression. Sometimes it's a subtle hand movement. But those small details often make BTS performances feel more alive. Moments that are not planned, not scripted, yet somehow become the most unforgettable parts of a performance. In BTS, magic often appears exactly like that, quietly and unexpectedly. Could it appear in the final performance? After that spontaneous moment ended, practice slowly returned to normal. The music started again. The members went back to their positions. Choreographers continued guiding the routine. But the atmosphere in the room felt slightly different. Several staff members were still thinking about what they had just seen. Because Taehyung's movement didn't feel random at all. It matched the rhythm and emotion of the music perfectly. During a short break, some of the members even talked about that moment again, laughing while trying to imitate Taehyung's move. It wasn't a long discussion, but it opened up an interesting possibility. Sometimes, small improvisations during BTS rehearsals don't disappear. Instead, they evolve and eventually become part of the final choreography. And there is a chance that Taehyung's spontaneous movement could appear in the Arirang performance. If that happens, millions of ARMY around the world might witness a dance move that was born from a completely natural moment in the practice room. Closing. When BTS finally performs Arirang on a big stage, the audience will see a powerful and polished performance. Bright lights. Perfect synchronization. A stage that looks incredible from beginning to end. But behind that performance, there will always be small stories hidden in the rehearsal room. Moments of experimentation. Moments of creativity. Moments that happen when no one expects them. And one of those moments may always lead back to that simple scene. When the music began playing quietly. And without any plan, Kim Taehyung started to dance. Not because it was part of the choreography, but because he simply followed the feeling of the music. For a few seconds, the entire room fell silent. Members watched. Staff paused. Because the movement they saw wasn't written anywhere. Yet it was powerful enough to make everyone think the same thing. That was truly incredible.